Hello and welcome to episode 17 of our Timberborn 1.0 full release playthrough with the Folktales faction on the Down the Plug Hole map cycle 24 day 11. We have another drought coming up in just about 2 days. And last time we did some automation, a little bit of red light, green light, and we did what unexpectedly became a little bit of a contentious excavation project here. With a whole lot of you guys saying, why in the world didn't you do just one layer of tunnels and then dynamite everything else? Well, I don't know that I can really explain it in a way that's going to make any sense, but I'm going to try. So my thinking with that was, because of the way that the tunnels get put in, it would theoretically be faster to do this instead of just dynamiting on one layer, because they have access to every single layer, bottom, middle, and top at the same time. I'm aware it's cheaper to do it with the dynamite, but it's fine. I'm not really that worried about it. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, honestly, but that's why I did it that way, so that I could have more beavers working on more things at the same time without having to babysit it and without having to you know, really do too much in the way of just putting a ton of dynamite down. I know, it's more dynamite, it's technically more extract and all that, and it's definitely a lot more planks. But it's also kind of neat, right? Because I can leave this structure in place and get to basically any other part of this and expand it if I need to or want to. Whereas if I only do the top layer and then detonate everything else, if I want to widen it, I have to build scaffolding again. And yes, that would still be cheaper doing it that way. I don't know, I just thought it would be kind of neat to do this. Feel free to disagree. I mean, again, that's always allowed. I'm never going to tell you that you can't tell me I'm doing something wrong. I'm just, you know, maybe not going to agree with you. But that's fine. That's why I was doing that way. Beyond that, we have all this over here. And a lot of you did seem to like what we have going on, but there were a couple suggestions that were made that I think I would like to honor. This threshold for the available storage, a very good point was made that since we have such a large quantity of available storage, having this set to 95% probably isn't necessary. The number that I was given in the comments from at least one or two people that they'd like to see that changed to was 80%. So that's what we'll do. And then we're gonna rework the storage fullness thing as well, which currently is set to equals 100. And someone brought up a very good point, is that when things are made in multiples, and not all of them are, but when things are made in multiples, there's a chance, however small it may be, there is a chance that the fullness of 100% might not ever be achievable, because there is a gap in the storage fullness smaller than the amount that could be made at one time. I don't think it's going to be an issue for this, but, you know, we'll try it. I'm going to go to greater than 99% instead of equals 100. I think that probably is a defensible position to take. That's not the right one. There we go. So we'll give it a shot. If it doesn't work, then, well, we can always put it back. It's not really that big of a deal. But I think that probably is a little bit better than it just being straight up 100% full, and that's the only thing. So greater than 99%. If you have a storage that is only 100 storage, then greater than 99% is going to be completely full. But if it's 1,000 storage, which most of these are, not all, but most of them are greater than 1,000, 99% of 1,000 is 990. Whereas 100% of 1,000 is 1,000. You know, so you see you have a little bit of slush there. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. There's a bunch of other stuff, but I will get to that in time. We do also need to check and see that the factories making the books are automated to the right stuff. And multiple people said that they probably are not. And you know what? You're absolutely correct. These were not automated. So we want books factory on. We want books factory on. Same old, same old. And there were a couple suggestions for naming schemes to change what stuff is. and I do appreciate you doing that. But I don't know that I'm going to change it, because then I'm just gonna, I'm going to get more confused, because I've already kind of wired my brain for this. And I know we have water in here. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But we need to do, in addition to what we've already done, treated planks, metal, and punch cards. Metal is a single ingredient thing, so that's easy enough for us to put somewhere. But we need to put in the treated planks, and we need to put in the punch cards. And I was probably going to do that right here. Basically what it boils down to is we have to have additional resource availability things, and then relays. It's not a super complicated thing. But now we have flooding here, and, you know, that is really not a very desirable look. So we need to make a choice. What are we doing about this diversion here? Because, you know, we've already diverted upstream. That has not been a concern for several cycles. I know we haven't technically done anything with this, but it's not posing a danger. So in all honesty, I think we can just kind of take this out, period, point blank. And while we do need to have some water coming through here to actually generate power, I think until we can come up with a decent design for how to kind of modulate flow through here, I'm probably just going to leave this exactly as it is, and instead come in here and channelize this just a little bit better. So what that's going to mean is this is 4 blocks wide. I'm just going to carve in probably here. This could be, right here could be doubles, just to get that a little bit lower, a little bit faster. Double that, and then we'll have that come in there. Just to keep the water away from this area, make it just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit cleaner. 3 to this depth, and then that would be technically 5, but that's the same deal there. I know we don't have a lot of dynamite, and we are using it for other stuff. So this will be one of those things. I don't have to say it. You already know. We'll get there. Looks like we have... Yeah, we got plenty of extra stuff. And I do have extra bad water. And I know this is not super close. But this is where the power is, and right now we just kind of need to have more. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to pop this in here, have this be a big top priority. And they'll be able to make more dynamite. And I will have this be a priority over here. Hopefully that helps speed that up just a touch. And I know drought time is going to be a good time for us to send beavers back down in here to do the rest of this. There was maybe a little bit of not understanding my intent with how this was laid out. I had originally thought there was going to be a lot more flooding when I started messing with this, and I wanted to have something to try and reduce the amount of bad water that was going to be in areas I wanted the beavers to walk in, which is why I had this area set up first. Why I took the dynamite off of these paths, because they need to be able to actually use the paths to get to these other areas. So apparently not that many people understood what I was doing, which again, that's fine. Like I said, you know, disagreeing is always allowed. But I did try to communicate that, and I guess I missed the mark, so I apologize there. Let's come back over here. I do want to see if they can get this rolling sooner rather than later. Oh wait, did I already have the metal taken care of? I did, but it's not the same setup as the rest of these. Yeah, so I think what's going to have to happen now... You know, I sat there and I read the notes, I read the comments, and I went back and looked at the live stream where I did this. And I think I still am not going to be able to figure this out while I'm actually talking. But the 2 ingredient stuff, just for example, the wood workshop, shouldn't be a problem. Like everything else here just needs to be the same. I just need another layer between Paper Factory OK, so that we have storage available, and then paper ingredients available. Or however I decided to, yeah. So we don't have to have additional resource counters, because this is already counting paper. And, well, okay, anyway, that's paper is for the punch cards. Wood workshop. We don't have to have one for planks because we already have one counting planks. But I might make one anyway for the planks, for the wood workshop, so that we can set them as different internal priorities, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But what that's going to require is that we have this area, you know, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. Nothing ever does have to be symmetrical. But if you've been around long enough, you know that I am an absolute sucker for symmetry, even when it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to put symmetry in. So I regret to inform you that we will be doing the exact same thing that we've already done. That is going to have to be a relay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this relay, because I want it to read left to right on ingredients, processes, and then outputs. So this memory, of course, being the ultimate output there. This serving the same function as this, but this is going to have to deal with 2 inputs and then the output as well. So we have storage. Actually, you know what? Because this is the only input, this is an output, and this is an output, so this actually has to move over one more. And I know they already built it. It's going to be okay. It's going to be alright, don't worry. We'll be fine. That has to go there, and then I have to have 2 more here, which that's going to fit, and that's good. You might be saying, why don't you just copy-paste these things? Well, when I've done that before, bad things have happened because I've become complacent because it shows something on here that is not water, and I think I've already set it up, and I'd like to, hopefully, avoid that. So, I need them to come in here and do this. Let's get the dynamite here prioritized, and then we're going to take this. Okay. Because it defaults to a not, then it's automatically on. Of course, that's exactly what that would do. All right, so I called that paper factory on. This is for. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I just remembered. People are like, why don't you do abbreviations? Well, when I abbreviate things, I forget what I've abbreviated them to. I'm going to call this treat plank, though. Factory on. Just so we know it actually fits. So that was factory on. Set, reset. See, this is exactly why I didn't do this. Paper factory okay is that one, and then paper storage full. Okay, so this needs to be treated plank storage full. You know what? I know I said I wasn't going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because it's easier to do it that way. Alright, so treated plank, that is going to be treat plank storage full. That actually does fit. Okay. So now that can be there, and then that can be there. And this one was paper factory okay, treat plank factory okay. I know okay and on are very, very similar to each other. But it's going to be okay. Right? Paper storage available. This just needs to change to treated plank storage available. Da-da-da-da-da. Don't you love just watching me do the same stuff over and over? There you go. Storage avail. Avail yourselves of storage. I know I could do STG or something. It's just... Look. It's... I have... Whatever this is called, whatever this means, whatever... But once my brain decides something is some way, and that's the process to do it, even if you show me a better way to do it, it's going to be really hard for me not to do it the first way I figured it out. Flame me if you want. That's just the reality of how things work or do not work inside my head. This is the... That's matching to 2 ingredients. So this one... Okay, this one needs to be an and... this one is set to paper logs available, paper storage available. So that's storage available. There we go. And then, so this needs to be to this, which is then going to check for both of these to be available. That's, again, it doesn't need to be complicated. So we're going to call this treat plank. Mats available. Mats is in materials. Which this is then and to here and here, but I don't have space because I was dumb and decided to build this stuff in the center. I don't want to move it because then it's going to cause other problems. And I don't want to deal with that right now. So I need to have one there, one there. I need to have a relay, and then I need to have 2 more resource counters. This is for punch cards if you are playing along at home, and then that needs to go there. So that is all punch cards, which the recipe for punch cards is paper and, not plastic, paper and planks. So I guess I can call this punch cards, paper available. I know it's going to truncate it. Available. There you go. That has to be paper. And again, I could have just used the same things, but I think long-term it will be useful to have granular control over paper going to different places, although I could have copied the settings at the very least. Threshold 10%. We can, again, change that as time goes by. And then the other one is planks, which, again, easy thing for us to do. We're going to call this, what do I call this? Punch cards. There you go, if I can spell right. Okay, so this is, instead of tree of planks mats available, this is going to be punch cards mats available. Close enough. Then that needs to be and connected, come on, connected to that and that. This one, of course, is going to be storage availability, which we'll go ahead and set to 80% like we did before. That needs to be punch cards. And then this is punch cards storage fullness, which is greater than 99%. We'll just say full. Yeah. And then this one is supposed to be the and, which is storage available and mats available. So this actually needs to be there, and then I believe this one. Yeah, okay. And then finally, set reset. We're in a boat. Set full out. Who was left? That is a timer. That is not what I wanted to build. Memory is what I wanted. Set reset. Oh, this one needed to be named punch cards factory OK. So set reset. Pretty sure that's exactly what I was doing. Storage full was the one that I was supposed to turn red. I think that one is red. This one is not red. Now it is. And then I just have to have that automated correctly. I have to have these connected by path, which currently... There we go. That's exactly what I wanted that to be. I'm so glad that worked out. Alright, so we are once again out of explosives because I have told them to do way too many things with bombs. And I realize we went through the entire drought without having beavers come through here, and that is absolutely, positively my fault. So, have we at least gotten anything done underground? Not exactly. And it's not because they don't have the ability to walk through anything. At least not to my knowledge. Are these in range? It says can't get materials. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and give them the access anyway. And we'll just let them be what they got to be. We know what materials they don't have. I'll give you a hint. Starts with explosive and ends with explosive. Because somebody had him come over here and do all this garbage. But yeah, that should, for all intents and purposes, currently, no, once this is in place, take care of what we were supposed to be doing. This was supposed to be green. This is not green. This is also not green, but it will be very soon. And there you go. So once that's all hooked up, then this will be good to go in the tree of planks, which haven't really had a... Oh, this hasn't even been operating. Good job. I keep forgetting this has multiple recipes. Well, there you go. There's your sign. So what else are we going to get ourselves into today? I'm so glad you asked. I'll give you a hint. It involves putting a bunch of stuff here. And I did some thinking about this, and I do kind of want to... Oh, good. Cycle 25 begins. I'm glad I didn't send anybody down here. I do kind of want to keep this symmetrical. I know, stop you if you've heard that before. But that's going to mean that the way this is set up here, this is the center. And I'm going to have to probably do a little bit of modification on this right side. But I'm going to keep here straight the way across, and then when we get up a little bit higher where these natural dams are, I'm going to try to channelize the overflow, if such an overflow exists, into here and then down through this this setup right here, these two front holes. But of course, that's going to require that we actually send some beavers back in here to get the rest of this built up. And as you know, I don't even have to say it, because you know, because you've been here. Some of you for a very, very long time. A few of you even bought merchandise that had that phrase on it. So, again, if you know, you know. I'm going to give them a staircase to get up there. And that'll be as far out as this goes on this level, which honestly... No, that's going to cause problems if I have it go up first, but we're going to continue doing all of that. Obviously, we want them to do that quickly, but you can't always get what you want, can you? But if you try sometimes, you might get what you need, or however that song goes. So now, this is what is going to be our input for the treated planks, which again, those of you playing along at home, planks and pine resin. So since we already have planks, we can do that. We can just paste those again. They should have the exact correct settings, and this just needs to be changed to pine resin. So these are our treat planks. How did I... there we go. There you go. Planks avail. Same thing over here. Then these are and to here and here, and this is mats availability, so on and so forth. But yes, that's about the size of it. This is currently connected this way. I'm going to have that rerouted to some degree as this gets fixed here. Why did I have this come through this way in this exact spot? I honestly could not tell you. That's just kind of the way it's worked out. Is that going to be the same height? It is. That's going to be a 2 and a 3. Now, is there a better way to do this? Almost certainly. Am I going to do that better way? Probably not. I'm just going to have this take a, not like that, take a straight line path over to here. And then because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm just going to remove that. Again, we can change this at any point in time that we desire. But since we have, you know, kind of limited beaver numbers, which is another thing that I told myself I was going to try to, that's the wrong thing, that I was going to try to fix today. We'll get there. You know we will. It might take us a long time, but we will get there. Rest assured. Let's just slightly redo that. Yeah, put that going that way. They'll build all this, make these, no, that's the wrong one. I want the workplace to be the minimized one. That'll get us, you know, that much closer to here, once that is... You know... Sometimes I find myself asking questions, including but not limited to, why am I the way that I am, and I don't think I have the knowledge to ever answer that question appropriately. Is what it is. I do want them to detonate this. I know I can caper kaboom this right now. I know that is now disconnected. I'm not going to do that other one yet. But that's going to help keep this from getting flooded, and that actually stair steps pretty nicely like this. Well, it's okay. They're going to get it figured out someday. And water has kind of continually been an issue. I'm going to put I'll put 2 more beavers in this, because why not? We want the pumping to occur expeditiously. And I think it's probably about time to put in a proper, quote-unquote, proper housing complex over here. Maybe the thing that irritates me the most about the Folktales housing is that the doorway is on the 2nd floor, which, you know, makes sense if you're building it into the water, which, you know, actual beaver dams are kind of constructed that way. But it makes it really annoying to build these things elsewhere. Yeah, see, it's just not exactly conducive to something that's very good looking. So I know you're probably sick of me saying that at this point, so I'm just going to hit the good old YOLO button and just pop in some proper stuff here. Kind of organically develop some things. A number of you did seem to enjoy that. Contemplation spot, nothing says contemplation like going right outside your front door and just kind of, you know, standing there while everybody looks at you. But it's going to be better than what we have currently set up. Just trust me on that. So we'll pop those there. Kind of try to organize it maybe a tiny bit better when we get there. But in terms of an actual housing complex, because of the geometry of this, I hadn't really thought about putting one right here. But there's no rule, you know, like an Airbud, there's no rule that says a dog can't play basketball. There's no rule that says we have to build anything anywhere. We can put it wherever we want, as long as we have infrastructure in place, which we are slowly improving. I know the paths are a mess. Look, that's just how it is. We've got zipline stations. So here to here, even though the path is kind of like going all over the place, they're not going to take the path anyway. They're going to take the zipline. It's faster. So I don't feel like at this point in the game the path network layout actually matters that much for stuff like this, because most of them are just going to the closest zipline station and just going somewhere else anyway. Do I still want to fix it? Yes. Will we? Eventually. But we have bigger fish to fry. So that is... yeah, that's good there. Let's now prioritize. I know they can't get here yet, but I should be able to get that going. Just get all of those set up the same way. Dynamite's still lagging behind because of course it is. I should have built more than one extra one of those. But I do feel compelled to have this go as fast as I can reasonably make it. Which that is, yeah, top level here. That already goes. And have that just kind of be what it has to be. Builders will do what builders have to do. You know, that is just kind of how this goes. This is never going to be a quick project. We all know this. And if you don't know, now you know. But I do kind of feel compelled to throw the few of you who have continually... I shouldn't say continually complain, because then it sounds like you're a nuisance, which you're not a nuisance for telling me you want me to fix something. That should not be the takeaway from this. But those of you who I guess will say have been outspoken about the badness of the path layout here, I do hear you. I'm not deliberately ignoring what you're saying. For me to fix this, I got to take everything out and rebuild it. That's just the only way my brain can think to do it. And as you know, that's not going to be a very fast or interesting process to watch. So I just keep putting it off until I can think of something. I do need this to get reconnected again. Let's do that. That'll help that along. I know I can connect this this way as well. I just don't want to do that right now. Oh, the punch cards need to be automated to the punch card thing. And then I need to check on all the rest of these things. Okay, that's Books Factory. These are paper. That's fine. And that is right there. I do want to move that so that is maybe a little bit nicer, but that does seem to be working. Okay, Planks Factory. I was pretty sure these were already set up. But it only takes a little bit of time to check. Yep, so those are good. Crisis averted. Crisis-ish. Food production is going to be probably the next major hurdle to clear on that. And, you know, I was never happy with this. I just kind of didn't really have much else in terms of ideas when I needed something. So this is going to be redone at some point. I kind of want to just flatten this a little bit and put something up here. But the better thing to do is probably going to be integrating it with a zipline station and just building a big food storage, food processing complex. Now, the farming is currently here. It doesn't have to be here. It's just here because early game, that was where the water was going to be sticking around the most. So what I will do, because we're already half an hour into this and I don't want to start another giant project, I'm going to ask you guys for your input on whether you'd like for me to do a big food processing and storage complex somewhere and have it actually, you know, be intentionally designed, or if you want me to just keep this kind of hodgepodge, whatever you want to call it, layout, where stuff is just where it is, and wherever it is where it is. So let me know. I am going to be kind of, after this episode comes out on Wednesday, after the Friday episode, well, not after the Friday episode, I guess the Friday episode, what I'm meaning to say, the Friday episode is going to be the last episode that I'm going to be able to see the comments on before I record the next episode for, let's just say, the next little while. And I'm going to have to pre-record some number of episodes, maybe a couple of weeks in advance. So if you have something to say about something that's happening in this playthrough, involving major projects that may take or may be done in the next, say, 3 to 4 episodes, now's the time to say them. Because you can, you know, you can comment on those videos all you want, but I'm not going to be able to see those comments until after I've already been a couple episodes in the future. So, anything you think you might want me to know, or you just want to tell me, hey, you made a huge mistake with this and I think you should fix it and blah 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 or whatever. I don't say blah 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 to be dismissive. That's a fill, not an accusation of any tone or whatever behind what you're saying. I hope that makes sense. Like I feel like I have to be careful how I word stuff sometimes because, you know, it's the internet. Tone is not always apparent, and I don't ever want to come off as, you know, dismissive of what people are trying to say. I just want to make sure that we're always on the same page with that. So yeah, just let me know. I've got some ideas for some big projects that I can do with without really having to rely on people's input for things, but I do want to make sure that before I embark on that, I have a general idea of what everybody wants to see. And then after we get back into the regular swing of things, then that's when we're going to do the raft mod. That's when we're going to do all these other things and really build out my original vision for what we're doing. But I do need some projects to get done. Anyway, this is connected, and it looks like we are, yeah, we're nice and good here, except this is waiting on somebody to finish it. I don't know why we still have all the materials, but they haven't even started construction at all. So let's just give these guys a boost here. As a reminder, these have absolutely no proximity requirements. They just have to be connected to a path somewhere. So they don't actually have to be in any specific location. Alright, so that's green. This one is not because the storage is very full. It's not completely full, but it is full. Storage. Actually, that storage full should not be tripped. Oh, no, that was the reset not being tripped. That's fine. Okay, we're good. We're good. I confused myself again. Yeah, so that's taken care of. That's taken care of, at least for right now. That's an improvement. I know it's not perfect, but it's an improvement. We did add... Oh, they haven't finished this yet. Alright, I guess now I have to prioritize at least the buildings themselves so we can get more beavers in here. I know it's not, you know, the best improvement for housing, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It's going to be okay. Maybe I should have rotated this. There's still time. Could have rotated now. You know, I'm going to leave it. It's alright. I just want them to be able to sit there. But probably the main bit for the rest of this episode is most likely going to be, let's just bring in dirt, try to do some more terraforming here, try to get more of that stuff done. And of course, as you have probably guessed, this is being time-lapsed now. So, I'm going to do a little bit of dam construction here. I'm going to do a little bit of checking in on that little bad water area there. So, the camera's going to move around maybe a little bit. I haven't decided exactly how long this is going to be yet as of me saying this, but you'll find out what the beavers got done. And of course, if something pops up we have to take care of, then I will end the time-lapse and we'll deal with that if that does occur. But yeah, we'll let the beavers do what they got to do, and I will check back in with you shortly. Okay, so we've managed to get this section completed. They're still working on this bit, but right here is where this goes up to meet all of this. So there's going to be a decent bit of finagling that has to occur here, and I think I'm going to have to be careful how I get the beavers up this, because, you know, they can only build one above them, and currently there is 1, 2, 3, 4 up that they have to go to get into this. So I think what's probably going to be better is to instead come down to that, kind of like what we've done before. But I don't know that I want them to, you know, continue building from this point, because then I'd have to build another staircase. Honestly, that might be better. We already have this zipline station here, and I was supposed to remember where that was. Okay. Yeah, this corner right here. So if I just go straight up, then I've got this right here is where that has to get done. I got my, hopefully, the right spot here. That looks like that's about right. Let's go there. Okay, yeah, I just have to do one more to get that down there. And then I guess probably what's going to make the most sense is to have a 2x2 hole like we've done before. Little spiral staircase down to the spot right there. And then they can build down infinitely, but they can only build up a tiny bit. So that's going to hopefully take care of that problem. There's still some of this that has to get done. Obviously, it has not been a huge priority, but that's fine. The most important thing was getting this taken care of. This is paused, all 3 of these, just so we're all on the same page. This is not going to, you know, cause any problems. Beyond that, we have all of this we haven't been able to do because somebody forgot about the drought to get all this laid in, but that's fine. This is actually going a little slower than I thought it was going to. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to have this come all the way out first, and then I think I'm going to have to just blast out the terrain after the fact, so I have a better grasp of exactly what's going to be going on here. So I do want that to be filled in. Let's peel this back so I can have this set up correctly. I know, you know, this was currently open up here, but I don't want that to be open. I want it to be closed. So I'm going to have this back side just be completely all the way up to this bit here and make it nice and thick there. So that's going to require that I get another staircase in, but I probably shouldn't do that until this is all the way out here. The way this is currently set up, I think this is going to force them to probably do this. What? That really wouldn't let them put the staircase there? Yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense because the beavers then could not transit. So they'll get to this in due time. I know we haven't actually connected this to any, accessibility over here. I was going to get to that point in a little bit, and then I realized I never did. So I do, again, to get them up here, I do have to have some way of actually getting them up here. So we'll just do that, and then I believe if I do this correctly, I should be able to find somewhere, hopefully, to put another one of these zipline stations in range without it being a big deal. I did see at least one comment asking why I'm putting so many zipline stations in. Well, if I didn't, people would say, why aren't you putting zipline stations in? And clearly I've put zipline stations in, and now at least a couple of you are saying, why are you putting so many zipline stations in? Look, I just got to pick one. That's just all that boils down to. It just makes more sense to put zipline stations in than it does to not. It's not that big of a deal. I want this to not be a super complicated thing. I guess it's... oh, I got the materials. Who cares? It's not going to make a bit of difference. Now, why is this saying I can't... Only in certain spots? Is that a... okay, well... We know that this is going to connect here and be fine. So I suppose all I've got to do is just pop one of these over here. I'll just do that. I know they can't get to this yet. They will. They will, eventually. Remember, we're just getting to the point where this is going to be possible. We're probably not going to have this started this episode, because at this point now I might not have enough time. But we are working on it. We've got that going. This area has been left alone for quite some time. Population has gone up a little bit. We do have some extra beavers. Might as well go ahead and expand this hauling post to 10. I can't remember if I have this one expanded. No, I do not. Okay. Well, that is going to be probably the best way to utilize those extra beavers. I know we have some other things we haven't quite gotten to yet. Well-being probably should be one of those things we get to sooner rather than later. We have not done any agoras or dance halls or any of these other fun things. But that seems like that would be a good thing to do in one of these future videos. So I think I'll leave that to there. We will do it eventually. I guess. Yeah, not the most exciting way to end an episode here, but I think that's probably going to be the best we can really do. I know we've got all this to take care of. They're working on it. They're doing their best, etc. But this seems like a good enough stopping point, so that is what I will do. I appreciate you guys watching these series, watching these videos, and contributing helpful input, and telling me what you do and do not like. I always welcome it. I can't do everything everybody asks. And if you and I don't agree on how something's done, then that's fine. But at the end of the day, I am going to have to pick some way to do it, and that's just the way it goes. But I am very grateful that you're here. Beard Boosters, of course, supporting the channel so we can continue to do long, mostly unedited series. Time-lapsing, of course, when necessary. But I really enjoy doing things the way that we do them here, and I'm glad that people agree so that we can have a whole lot of fun playing with the beavers and not have to worry about doing brain rot edits or any of that stuff. Which, again, I've said a bunch of times, if that's what it takes to succeed on YouTube, then, well, maybe at that point, that's when I say, it's been fun, time to go do something else. But for right now, we're having a good time. That's not on the horizon, don't worry. And I'm looking forward to what we can get done in this playthrough in the future. So again, let me know, because this is basically your only chance for the next couple of weeks to let me know what you want to see as I continue to record episodes and try to make some nice progress here. I look forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next one. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.